Would you like to know how John and I handle some family issues? And what are some of the typical issues that LGBT couples have to deal with in terms of families? I'm Reverend Brent Hawks. I'm the Executive Director of Rainbow Faith and Freedom.
And I'm John Sproul, and I'm happily retired.
So continuing on our theme about how different John and I are, here are some of our family dynamics.
I'm an only child.
I'm the oldest of 5. I have 3 sisters and a brother, and I had cousins around all the time.
My parents were in their 40s when they had me.
And my parents were much younger when they had me.
As a kid, I had a lot of challenging illnesses. I was a sick kid. And that gave me a lot of time alone. And I had to learn coping skills for being a kid alone that was sick.
And you're very comfortable with being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whereas I had people around me all the time, so I like people around. And I'm much more engaged in family dynamics and sibling kinds of experiences. And I've, had a lot of acceptance with my family. And so we like to go and visit my family. And there's a lot of my side of the family to visit.
At one point, my father, later on in life, wrote a lovely note to Brent about what a wonderful day it had been when Brent joined our family.
And my family, I think, are very accepting of John, but they don't often say so.
A lot of them have just grown up with me around as, I guess, Uncle John. In both families, there was tension in the household. No family is perfect. We both had a process of accepting the fact that our spouse was of the same gender. In my family, it may have been a bit more quick. In Brent's family, it took a while too.
But we eventually got there.
We did get there.
Okay. And a big issue for your mom was?
My mom wanted grandchildren, and unfortunately, that hasn't happened.
And in my family, I don't think my parents worried about having grandchildren because there were 3 sisters and another brother. And we've seen each other through a lot of challenges down through the years. Both of my parents passed away while we were together, and both of John's parents. And so we supported each other through those processes.
Yeah, we've been there through job challenges, career challenges, health challenges, all of it for each other.
And we've had a holy union on our 15th anniversary, and then we got legally married on our 25th anniversary. Both of my parents each attended one of them, and so I had that support through that. And John's parents were elderly, so they couldn't attend, but
they did send kind notes. They did as they could in the situation. I think that if your parents are not immediately coming around, give them some time. You've had a long time to wrestle with who you are. They have not. It may take a little while for them to come around, and you do need to be prepared that maybe some bad things or hurtful things might be said in the process.
We've really had no significant negativity from our families about our relationship at all. Overwhelmingly, for both families, a very positive response. But we understand that this is not true for many, many LGBT people, and that families, in some cases, have not become safe places at all. And welcoming a same-sex spouse into the family can still be challenging, even for the kindest of families. And I agree with John. It's taken us a while to accept, it takes most LGBT people a while to accept who they are, so we need to give our families the same kind of room to adjust.
It is also fair to mention that not all families are safe places, that they weren't safe places after you came out. They weren't safe places even when you were a kid. And that is reality.
And so for many LGBT people, what they've done is they've developed their families of choice. They've gotten some close friends around them that either can add on to some positive family relationships, or in some cases replace their families of birth.
For your parents, they don't need to be in a closet either. And instead of them trying to hide it, they could do like my friend Paige does with her wonderful trans son. They're out in the open about it, and you can talk about your wonderful gay or lesbian daughter. People don't like it, they can go away.
When you say that they don't need to hide it, what do you mean? Hide what?
They don't need to hide that they have a gay son or daughter. or a trans son or daughter, it is much more solid footing to be positive about it and bubbly about it and how wonderful their kid is.
And for parents who are really challenged by this, there's an organization called PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. And there are chapters in many cities in Canada and North America and some places around the world. And that's where you can give them a call and parents can talk to parents. And many parents have found it very, very helpful in their process of accepting the fact that they have a gay son or lesbian daughter to be able to talk to other parents. So recommend that. And also, Rainbow Faith and Freedom has a resource pillar on our website that has resources for coming out and supportive information for families as well. And you can find that information at rainbowfaithandfreedom.org.
Frequently being out is the strongest position to be in. I read this in a book on careers for gay people. And if you've put it out on the table, people can react to it the way they're going to react to it. You don't need to have false friends around you. You don't need to have provisional friendships that are okay so long as you don't mention who you are. There's plenty of people who will accept you as you really are and be supportive of you as you really are, and it can work out best for them. And those people that might reject you, they may come around eventually.
And I think acting as if it's normal, because it is a way, I often say to people, act as if it's normal until it becomes normal. Act as if it's okay until it becomes okay. And so, keep, as long as you're not in an abusive situation, keep calling your parents, keep reaching out to people, being very casual, talking about your partner, don't make it a secret. And eventually, most parents will come around. Eventually, love actually does win out. And another issue in terms of dealing with families is, especially if you're not out, it's very complicated because who goes where for Christmas or holidays or birthdays, other special events. And it's much simpler if you're out because your partner can come along and you don't have to pretend, you don't have to hide, you don't have to go separate ways. You can share those experiences together.
You can take turns at Christmas time for which family gets visited. It's all above board. One thing to notice, if your parents are a tad on the manipulative side and they're not happy about the fact that you're gay or you're trans, then they may try and undermine your relationship when you bring a partner home. So what would undermining a relationship look like? A simple example of it would be for, say, your mother to just slide into the conversation whenever possible the defects of your partner. Nobody's perfect, and your mother could find something nasty to say.
Did your mother ever find anything negative to say?
No, she didn't do that.
No, it was because of your mother, but it was also because it was more difficult to find the negative things to say about me.
I'll definitely agree with that, dear.
Thank you, dear.
Yes.
One of the ways we dealt with the holiday situation with our family, my family, most of them live in New Brunswick, and John's family lived in London, Ontario, which was much handier. So we would go to London, Ontario 2 years in a row for Christmas, and then every third year we'd go to New Brunswick to be with my family for Christmas. And so we had that routine for many, many, many years. We've now inserted a year where we don't go to New Brunswick, and we don't, because now with John's parents being deceased, the Christmases are all about my family. Mm-hmm. And so we go to New Brunswick 1 year for Christmas. We have some folks from New Brunswick come here for 1 year for Christmas. And then we take 1 year for Christmas just by ourselves. And that 3-year routine works really well for us. And so sometimes if families don't come around, we recommend make a distance. It's unfortunate, but you don't want to continue to put yourself in difficult or abusive situations. And you may have to rely on your chosen family or each other instead.
One thing that can be an aid in that sort of situation is continue sending the cards that you would normally send. Send that birthday card, that Father's Day or Mother's Day card, the Christmas card, the Easter card, or Passover or Hanukkah cards, whatever the family occasions are. Keep the line of communication open in that way. As things change, maybe your parents might come around.
And all that money you're saving for presents for those relatives you could spend on your partner. I highly recommend that John spends more money on me for Christmas or for other occasions. Anyway, so we hope you found this video helpful as we talked about family issues. So we'd encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And how do they do that?
Well, you can really help our channel by pressing the like button on it. I think it's right there. Or pressing the subscribe button. And with the subscribe button, there's a little bell. And if you press that, you'll get a notification when we post a new video. And all of that's for free. It doesn't cost you anything to do it.
So we have family responsibilities. And so we're going to say goodbye for now. So take care.
Thank you.